Good afternoon, class. I hope everyone is having a safe week this week. This week we were looking at ebooks that would complement our research topic that we want to look at, and I was still going to look at religious liberty. As we know, the American colonial experience really tested the norms of the old world system. The road to the revolution and the ideals which stemmed from this experience were not an exception to that rule. One such area that went through a major transformation dealt with the church and state relations. Religion and politics, according to Greg Fraser, were inextricably linked for the founding generation. Leading up to the revolution, dissenting Protestant sects pushed for more than just religious tolerance. Presbyterian and Baptist ministers such as Samuel Davies and John Leland challenged religious authority while pushing government officials to implement laws protecting freedom of conscience. The enlightened political figures and dissenting religious fringe of Virginia formed an unusual alliance that aimed for the same endgame, separation of church and state. For founders such as James Madison and Thomas Jefferson, they needed dissenting support to achieve success, not only in the revolution, but in the transformation of political and religious authority. In Jefferson's notes on the state of Virginia, he stated that 2/3 of the people had become dissenters at the commencement of the present revolution. For Virginia's revolutionary cause, this symbiotic relationship was paramount. This week I analyzed two major works that delve deeper into the Virginia experience surrounding religious liberty. The first one, Religion and Political Culture in Jefferson's Virginia, which was edited by Garrett Sheldon and Daniel Dreisbeck, takes a look at Thomas Jefferson and the role revolutionary Virginia played in transforming religious tolerance into religious liberty. These essays look at the political and religious struggles that the founders, dissenters, and gentry went through in the late 18th century. This source provides more viewpoints on the philosophical and religious influence that impacted both Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. Jefferson's Virginia also provides a local religious perspective that is important in how church and state relations changed as the revolution was ending. Part 2 of the book focuses on the main beliefs of Jefferson and Madison and what may have brought them to their view on church and state relations. Part 3, especially Chapter 9, is an essay written by Daniel Dreisbeck, examines debates within the Virginia Assembly and the religious situation that was stirring these debates. These essays provide a thorough, holistic view of how Virginia led the way in providing the framework for the eventual freedom of religion clause that we would find in the First Amendment. The other work I looked at this week, The Transformation of Virginia, 1740 through 1790 by Rhys Isaac. He provides one of the more thorough studies of how Virginia's political and religious landscapes changed coming out of the Great Awakening. His examination of the gentry lifestyle and the average Virginia life during that time is very informative and well researched. He does a good job of showing how Virginia life transformed the decades after the Great Awakening. The research done on the dissenting Protestant movement, especially that grew out of Hanover County, Virginia, into the other surrounding counties, displays the pressures that were building to allow religious liberty in Virginia. Part 2 and 3 of the transformation of the Virginia provides an in-depth look at how the established Anglican Church began to face challenges to the religious and political authority. Such challenges as the Parsons Cause, fear of the American bishop, and the dissenters movement all are covered in great detail, which provides a great source in analyzing how and why Virginia went the route that they did on religious liberty. Thank you, and I hope each of you have a wonderful week.